Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike Chang with Six Pack Shortcuts. I'm with my buddy Johnson.
What up?
And today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to make your core stronger and just to build overall strength. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and show you, I put up this dry erase board behind me and want to go ahead and get your ideas on what we should put on there. I really have no ideas, so we went ahead and just drew swole guy and just wrote a couple stuff on there, but I'd love to hear what you want to see on there. We can pretty much draw anything or put anything on there, so make sure to put it under the comments under this video. So next video we'll go ahead and put some cool stuff on there for y'all. So alright, so let's get started. So me and Johnson, we've been lifting for a while together, and we always talk about how to go ahead and get our lifts stronger and the little techniques and tips that we do. So I decided to make a video to go ahead and share that with you. So what do you think, Johnson? What do you think is like the most important thing for us that got us stronger? You know, because I remember there's a time where we're lifting and we're getting like stronger and stronger like every other week and stuff. What do you think it was?
I mean, it's gonna be the lifts that you do. And the three most important lifts that I found that got us the strongest, it's gonna be the deadlift, the squat, and the bench press. And it's not a coincidence. Those are actually the three core exercises and the three lifts in a powerlifting contest.
Yeah, that's true.
So when we're doing those exercises, you'll see a lot of common traits that benefits that you'll get. So what are a couple of benefits that you feel that, they have in common?
Well, I remember when we were doing those lifts and I remember I was getting stronger in the squats, and then I'll do deadlifts and I'll feel like I'm getting stronger in deadlifts. The weight's I'm just doing more repetitions with the same weight, and same thing for bench press. And I remember I was thinking about it, I was like, man, what's the relation between these three exercises? I mean, is it a coincidence that I'm just getting stronger overall? Because bench press, you're working on your chest, right? And then squats, you're working on your legs, and then deadlifts, you do it for our back. And then I realized that the relation between all three exercises is your core. Because I realized, like, man, because there's no other relations really between those three, but our core was getting stronger and stronger, and so all of our lifts got stronger. So guys, if you want to go ahead and get overall more strength and also have a super strong core, you gotta do those three exercises. And I promise you, if you do all three, every one of those exercises, you'll become stronger and stronger and stronger. And then every other lift outside of those three, outside of the squat, deadlift, and bench press, will also get stronger. Because that's what we felt too. Like, we're able to curl more and all that stuff. Because you just grab something that just feels like light. Yeah, it's like, or put a bar right here, it just feels like light, like it's not really heavy at all.
Just doing those lifts got us stronger in all types of exercise, from the bicep curls you're talking about to, pull-ups, everything.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. So remember, guys, tip number one is do those three exercises. If you don't care about being stronger, just don't worry about it. Do the ones that you want to go and work on. But if your goal is not only to get ripped abs, you want to go ahead and build more strength overall, you got to do all three. I remember when I stopped doing deadlifts and I only did bench press and I did squats, guess what? My bench press got a little weaker and my squats got significantly weaker. And I was like, man, why is that? I'm still working on legs like normal, but over time I realized, because I didn't deadlift, you got to do all three.
Cool. Mike, what's a couple of things that'll actually help you during the lift to make you stronger?
Okay, so where you plant your feet into the ground and you basically lift, the power comes from the ground. And I remember we used to talk about that, and me and Johnson, here's something funny. Me and Johnson were both doing it wrong in the beginning. Like when we're doing a deadlift, I remember we're thinking, let's just pull this weight from the ground, just pull it up as hard as we can. And then a good buddy of ours, he actually was more into powerlifting, and he taught us, no, guys, you are doing it wrong. We're like, what do you mean? And we were pretty strong as it is because we're doing all three of those lifts. But what we realized is when you're doing these lifts, you got to plant your feet into the ground. You got to make sure it's super flat, and you got to be able to feel the ground and feel the power starting from your legs. Because I only thought of that when I did squats. I didn't think bench press and deadlifts were like, there's any relation. But you got to start the power from the ground up using your legs first before doing anything else. So this way, if you start from the ground and then you lift up from there, if you have a strong legs and a strong foundation, your whole entire lift becomes stronger.
Yeah, and this for those who I used to train in, to really get them to understand the concept of planting your feet on the ground, I used the example of like a tree. A tree there with no roots would just tip over.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's those roots on the tree that's planted deep in the ground that gives it a solid support and that holds itself up. And how can you really lift if you don't have the proper balance?
Yeah.
So you got to be like a tree and just have the strong core, plant it in, and then go and explode up and pull that weight up.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a big tree just sitting there, and you just tip it over with one hand because it's not grounded.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember once we started doing that, like our lifts got even stronger. So that was like a really good one.
All right, Mike, here's another one. So when I'm doing my deadlifts, to really build that solid strength, I hold it at the peak contraction at the very tip, okay? And I feel like it really helps me a lot. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like when you're doing your lifts, if it's deadlifts, if it's squats, same thing. You want to be strong on your starting position, which means, remember how you grounded your feet right into the ground, but you're in position where basically you're at the peak of that contraction, peak of that exercise. So if you're doing a squat, the peak of it would be coming down, holding it right there. If you're doing a bench press, you start off where you come down and then, so if you come down, well, this is the starting position. If you come down, the peak is right here, right? So you want to be really strong right here. You want to hold it for a sec and then drive up. You know, so you got to make sure it's like that for every single lift, including a deadlift. Deadlift starts from the ground up, and as you pull, when you're standing up, that's like the peak contraction.
Yeah.
And think about it this way: if you're strong at the beginning, you plant your feet into the ground, and then you're strong at the end, which is basically contracting that movement and squeezing those muscles that you're trying to work on. Then if you're strong at the beginning and strong at the end, it doesn't even matter what happens in the middle, because that pretty much takes care of itself. You'll be strong in that entire lift.
Yeah, and some of the little things I want to add as a bonus, for example, when you're talking about the deadlift and really squeezing your traps and your shoulders, you know, when you're doing your squats, you really want to squeeze your glutes, your butt muscle at the very peak. Because a lot of times people don't know what they want to squeeze. They don't know what muscle they're using. So really, you know, think about it. And also on the bench press, what muscles are you squeezing on the bench?
Man, like honestly, I'm squeezing my chest, you know, because I'm trying to work on my chest through a bench press. And you know your secondary muscles is your shoulders and your triceps, but your primary, the one you're trying to develop, is your chest. So you want to squeeze the primary. So that's like that for every single lift. For deadlifts, and here deadlifts is the interesting one because you want to work on your back. But when you're doing deadlifts, you actually want to go ahead and also squeeze your glutes, your hamstrings, and thrust forward. And that was a really interesting one that it took me a while to figure out, because I was thinking I'm just going to squeeze my upper back, you know, because I'm working on deadlifts. And after our buddy showed us, no, you got to go ahead and contract your hips. It's all about the power, you know, because once you go ahead and do that and use the strongest parts of your body to do that lift, you'll do more weight, and not only will your legs get a lot stronger, but your back will get just sick, you know, just be totally muscular. So that really helped a lot too.
That's awesome.
So hope this video helps you. It's gotta don't forget these 3 tips. Use it next time when you want to get a lot stronger, and I guarantee if you follow these tips and do it for a few weeks, you're gonna see a significant increase in all of your lifts. Not just that, but also your muscles are gonna be like bigger and thicker and like stronger too.
Yeah.
So don't forget, leave some comments under this video. Let us know what you want to see on those drawings while on the board. And more workouts, nutrition tips, check out sixpackshortcuts.com. See y'all guys next time.
Train hard.